once you have a step function that is orchestrating one or more, or who knows, maybe half a dozen Lambda functions inside a coordinated distributed application, one of the better ways to implement an execution is to simply use the AWS CloudShell and the CLI. So let's go ahead and take a look at how that would work. If we go over to step functions here, you can see that there's a step function, state machine, add, divide. So this is the orchestration. Of course, I can do it from the console, but this doesn't necessarily give me the programmatic control that I want. So let's go ahead and go over to a CloudShell invocation here. So again, you can just launch the CloudShell right here. Now, if I wanted to run this, an easy way to do this would be to first put in the command AWS. Next up, we do step functions. Then I would do start execution. Now, all I need to do is put the name of the ARN. So it would be -- state machine, ARN. And then I would go over to my ARN and copy it. So in this case, I can actually go to this ARN right here, go back to the terminal and just paste it in. Now, the only thing I need to do to finalize this is to put in an input. So we're going to do -- input, and then this is where I would put in a JSON payload. So I'm just going to paste this in, so since I've got it handy right here. So if I run this, we're able to actually execute it, and we can see that it was successful. Now, if I go over to the console here, before there was 2, if I refresh, there should be 3. There we go. And then what I also can do is go over to the step-by-step details here and even see what the payload was that went into this particular function. So this is really powerful to have this kind of iterative feedback loop. Now, let's go ahead and make it a little more exciting. If I do the up arrow here, obviously if I run the same payload over and over again, it might be hard to tell what's going on. So let's go ahead and change this to 13, and we'll change this one to 13 as well. And then let's run it again. There we go. We've been able to do another execution. If I go over to here, we see now there's 4 executions. Here we go. We can see that in fact it did take the payload 1313 divided by 2. There we go. The total is 26 afterwards. So we've been able to successfully take this and the output is going to be 13. And we're able to reproduce this using the CLI. So the CLI with AWS CloudShell is one of the better ways to start to orchestrate your functions without having to do a bunch of SDK development. You can get in there, test some ideas out, and make sure it works.